What's going on, Save Saturdays listeners? It's Will Reason here. Did you know that Save Saturdays isn't only a podcast? That's right. We're also on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Save Saturdays. Make sure to follow us for even more daily content, including fire sports memes and behind-the-scenes content from the Save Saturdays studio in Lincoln. Remember, that's at Save Saturdays on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And as always, Save Saturdays.
And we're back. Big Bets Bentz joining us again for this segment. Took a little break for the NBA segment. I think that Will and I shouted at each other enough.
Definitely entertaining, though.
You clapped after that last segment ended.
Absolutely.
I want to know why.
Well, like I said, it was entertaining. You guys were firing away at each other.
Boom, boom.
Well, I think you know, I live with this disgusting Boston bias every day.
We gotta start this again.
We're not gonna.
Go.
But I mean, I live with this every day, so it's fun. It's fun to get a little platform and shout at him.
That's right.
You know,
it's all fun.
You know, he's still gonna have to buy me that Bob toast when the Boston Red Sox lose their game today and they can't win more than 25 games, and I win that bet. So I'll have that on him. But you know, we're done with that conversation, and we're gonna talk about my favorite sport, even though I didn't pick it as my sporting event that I'd want to go to. This is undoubtedly my favorite sport. Will can vouch for me. The video game I play the most is the college football video game from 7 years ago. Talking about college football. Week 3 just finished up. It was already going to be a very weird college football season. I think it's gotten even weirder. I mean, Texas actually looks decent this year.
Like every year.
I mean,
It's true.
They look decent every year.
You know it's a weird year when the Texas Longhorns look good. And the Big 12 as a whole has looked worse than the Sun Belt. So let's talk about Week 3 winners and losers. I'll start off with my biggest loser of the week is going to be the Oklahoma State Cowboys.
I agree with you.
I love the Cowboys. I love Chuba Hubbard, Tylan Wallace, Spencer Sanders. Great offensive team. What the heck happened this weekend? You lose Spencer Sanders. Ethan Ball comes in. Who is Ethan Ball? Not a good quarterback. That's who he is. Mike Gundy and the Cowboys definitely took the biggest L of the week. Barely squeezing out a game against, I can't even remember who they were playing.
Tulsa.
Barely squeaked out a game against Tulsa. If that tells you anything.
You know, Tulsa's pretty solid team. I know. Go ahead.
Will, can you tell me the mascot of Tulsa?
I can see their logo. Are they some kind of wave or something? Or?
They're the Golden Hurricane.
Oh.
Golden Hurricane.
I mean, that's the team that a top 10 team, a top Big 12 team almost lost to last weekend. So I'd also say that the Big 12 continues to be a loser. They're just a continuous loser until they prove that they're not. Who are some winners and losers for you, Big Bets?
Well, I couldn't help but notice that Marshall came out with the W against 23 ranked Appalachian State. And I guess last podcast episode, Ethan decided it was a terrible bet to go with Marshall. And apparently he was wrong. I was right.
I expected more out of Zach Thomas. I
just didn't show up.
They did not. I mean, the Mountaineers been a great program even before they moved up to Division I Single A. They surprised me. I was expecting them to be a premier Group of 5 school this year, and Marshall didn't really hear much about him. Last year I heard a little bit about their quarterback. Heard he was pretty decent.
Yeah. But
apparently I should have reversed my opinion. Exceptional quarterback for the Thundering Herd. Exceptional team for the Thundering Herd. Something's brewing.
That's right. And from now on, you should probably listen to Big Bets Bentz. So
Big Bets Bentz or Big Bets Beds.
It could go both ways.
It can go both ways. Will, you got some winners and losers?
Losers, yeah. Big 12 looked horrible. My Kansas State Wildcats lost. But I also think the biggest winner is the Big Ten. The Big Ten playing football now. I mean, Ohio State just put themselves back in playoff contention. I think Nebraska is about to put themselves in playoff contention. You can laugh now. That was a joke.
I think I think the Big 12 has played horribly enough that if there was any shot at the Big 10 being kept out because of their shortened season, the Big 12 went ahead and just made sure that wouldn't happen because they were so bad.
Yeah, it was pretty.
They've
given all the teams that lost were at the bottom of the conference, except for Iowa State. They were ranked. I mean, that was just a horrible loss.
Oh boy.
But I don't know. Looking in this week, my favorite game of all the conferences is Kansas State traveling to Norman, Oklahoma. My Wildcats, Skylar Thompson, my guy, coming off a bad loss 2 weeks ago against an Oklahoma team, the freshman quarterback, Spencer Rattler. I'm not calling for the upset, but I'm excited to see Kansas State bounce back against a solid team. And Kansas State, every once in a while, can put up a good game against Oklahoma. And the next year, they may get destroyed. But every once in a while, they're pretty competitive in that game. So I am ready to watch Kansas State play Oklahoma. I'm excited for that game.
You know what I'm ready to watch? I'm ready to watch some SEC football. I want to see something. I want to see good football. The Big 12 has not been providing it. I want to see some good football. I'm looking at that Auburn-Kentucky game. That's going to be a fun game. It's going to look like real college football, not what the Big 12 has been putting on the field. Disgusting. Sure. I'm also very interested in Louisville, how they bounced back from a pretty disappointing loss against Miami. I thought they were better than Miami. That was not a fun game for me to watch. I was really high on Cunningham. He did not look as good as I thought he was.
He did have over 300 yards like I predicted. Solid stat line. 3 touchdowns in the air.
Yeah. Derek King, he looks good. I like Derek King.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
I think also another big loser this week was the College Game Day crew deciding to go to Florida State in Miami when there is a great game going on in Jordan-Hare Stadium, Alabama, of Auburn and Kentucky, like you mentioned. Clearly the best game in college football this week.
Easily.
And we're going to go watch the Florida State team that has not had a winning record in, 3 years? I mean, they are the laughingstock of the ACC right now.
Well, not to mention that Florida State head coach Mike Norville tested positive for COVID, so he's not even going to be on the sidelines this weekend.
I mean, it's going to be a dumpster fire. And Miami is also not a good football team. The fact that they got you want to push back on me there?
I do want to push back. Miami's looked all right
this season.
Yes.
Last year they did not look good.
They looked bad last season.
This season, I don't know who they played in week 1, but they played a Louisville team who was also a bad football team. They're ranked clearly only because the Big Ten is not in the rankings. I think that's the only reason Louisville is ranked right now.
Louisville, yeah. Miami will still be ranked once the Big Ten starts playing again.
Miami will be, but they played a very bad Louisville team, and they looked really bad in that game. That was absolutely no defense being played. I mean, I think the whole game day on Saturday is gonna be a horrible game.
Miami will be in the ACC championship game if it's not Notre Dame and Clemson. And it's gonna be between those 3 teams. So I think Miami. I think you're undervaluing a little bit. Derek King.
Here's my thing.
Derek King is finally the answer at quarterback.
Derek King is fantastic. But Miami, I'm not just going to jump on the Miami bandwagon because they go 2-0 and they're ranked when they beat 2 bad teams and they won in bad fashion. They need to prove something to me. I'm not just going to throw them up there with Clemson just because of their past. They have looked bad in the last 5 years. I need to see something from them. They got to play Clemson tough or beat Clemson or do something big.
That's fair. They
looked really bad against Louisville. They got the win, but Louisville's a bad football team. So I want to support Miami, and I love Derek King. I love the kind of player he is. He's got some Lamar Jackson vibes coming off him, and I love Lamar Jackson. All of America loves Lamar Jackson. It's new. It's exciting. But, I mean, they got to prove it to me. I'm not just going to throw him up there. So I would love to see that Clemson-Miami matchup, though.
I would agree. I would also say that the game day crew was a loser for this week just because the product of college game day I feel is significantly worse when you can't have the pit with the crazy student section behind them, and you don't even have everybody in the studio. You got Corso Skyping in from his basement. You got Herbie also zooming in. You only got Chris Fowler and Dez there. I mean, not a real big fan of Dez as a Husker fan right now. But it's just not the same. I watched it this weekend and it was awkward. Yeah. There was these weird pauses. They were waiting to make sure that everyone was done talking. It was just really weird. It did not feel like game day. I was just like, what am I watching right now?
Well, when you make your living off the fan experience and the hype of game day, and then you take that away. I mean, there's not much they can do. I mean, it's disappointing. But.
I don't know about Ryan, but Will and I, we were right in the thick of it at game day when they came to Nebraska last year.
Oh, right.
Ryan, would you go to game day or did you just?
No, actually, I was out in D.C.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Okay.
That's right. But that game day experience was, I'm
unmatched.
I'm very glad that we talked about not going the night before. I'm very glad that Max woke us up at 4:00 in the morning. We got to be on the Coke Zero bleachers. We got a free Chick-fil-A chicken breakfast sandwich. That was awesome.
That's incredible.
I mean, I was peeking up. You could see me just over the shoulder of the guys in the studio. That was a crazy experience. It was awesome. But this year, also loser. At any school that gets game day this year is a loser because their students don't get that opportunity. And game day doesn't like to go to doesn't like to go to schools frequently. Like Wake Forest, probably not going to get game day again. And their students didn't even get to go to it this year. So game day, definitely a loser. A winner, Oklahoma. I think that Oklahoma State, they looked like they could challenge Oklahoma. And now I would say Oklahoma State has no chance of challenging Oklahoma. I almost put Oklahoma State in the college football playoff last episode. But I think Oklahoma, their only real challenge is Texas.
I think that's how it was from the start. But you're an Oklahoma State kind of guy.
I am.
You've always kind of.
I mean, I might be a closet Cowboy fan at
you
times.
You are a Cowboy fan, like I am a Kansas State Wildcat fan.
Pretty much, yeah. And so I would say that Oklahoma lost its second largest roadblock to another college football playoff appearance. What say you, Texas fan, Big Bets Bentz?
Yeah, Texas all the way. I mean, they play Texas Tech Saturday afternoon.
In Lubbock.
That's right, in Lubbock. So. But I believe out of the last 5, Texas won the 4 at Lubbock. So Texas likes to play at Lubbock, but it's going to be a tough game for them.
I will say, the last time that Texas was nationally ranked and looking very good with a promising quarterback, the last time they went to Lubbock, Colt McCoy lost.
It was 2000
in a last-second thriller by the catch of Michael Crabtree.
Fantastic.
That's sorry receiver Crabtree.
Sorry receiver Crabtree. Go look that up on YouTube. It's a fantastic ending of the game. If you don't like the Longhorns, you'll love it. I loved it.
I suggest not.
Ryan probably didn't love that as much. It's one of my. I remember watching that game live. It was one of my more memorable college football experiences. Like watching a game was that game, and because I think it was end of the season too. Texas was almost.
Yep.
They were battling for a title.
Mm-hmm.
So watch out. Could be an upset alert going into Lubbock like that.
It could be, but I mean this week Texas picked by 17.5, pretty large spread. But
that's pretty big. Maybe not.
Sam Ehlinger coming off as strong as he did first week. They're going to look pretty good against Texas Tech.
Before we jump over to our NFL game predictions for the week, I'd like to talk about something that came across my Twitter feed unexpectedly. Retweet from Lincoln Journal-Star reporter Parker Gabriel. He retweeted Dan Hope on Twitter, said some comments from Ryan Day today. Ryan Day on Nebraska quarterback Adrian Martinez, who we lovingly refer to as Cheeseburger Martinez. Boy, he's come out and had a good college career. It's a quote from Ryan Day. One of the better quarterbacks in the conference.
I have historically been a critic of Adrian Martinez.
A big critic.
I was on his bandwagon for his freshman year.
Everyone was on his bandwagon.
Which I think that's where a lot of Ryan Day's that comment's coming from. Is he's still a young quarterback. He's coming into his junior season. I think he's looking at the potential Adrian has coming into this offense this year. Not really speaking to his sophomore year where he was kind of had some injuries. Didn't look like the old Adrian we saw his freshman year. But also, they're playing him week 1. I don't think Ryan Day was going to come out and trash him. So I think half of it is just he's going to talk well about Adrian. But also half of it is the Big Ten does not have a lot of great quarterbacks right now in it, outside of Justin Fields. And I remembered at that time, I remember the time.
I'm shook. Also, your boy Tanner Morgan.
And Tanner Morgan.
In Minnesota. He's good.
Yeah.
He's good.
I would say right now I would put Adrian as the third best quarterback in the Big Ten, behind Justin Fields at 1, Tanner Morgan, and then with Dylan McCaffrey opting out, a lot of people.
He's transferring from Michigan, actually.
Transferring from
He's
Michigan.
in the portal. Yep.
I don't think there's a lot of quarterback talent in the Big Ten right now. A lot of young people coming up, and like Michigan. I mean, a lot of people in the Big Ten are just more running. So I mean, we don't see a lot of great quarterback talent anyway coming out of the Big Ten. It's more offensive line and defensive. So I mean, he's not far off from. I would kind of agree with that, despite being a critic.
It's also notable, Dan Hope mentions this in the tweet, but Ryan Day was the main recruiter at Ohio State who did offer Adrian, and there was serious interest in Adrian Martinez from the Buckeyes until Tate Martell committed, and then they backed off their interest in Adrian. And so I think, there's a relationship there. Ryan Day, they probably have a pretty good relationship. It sounded like in an interview from his freshman year at Nebraska, Adrian could have committed to Ohio State if they hadn't backed off. So, I mean, I think that some of that is, he is the third best quarterback in the Big Ten. He's he's got great stats. Maybe he doesn't look the best on the field. Maybe stats don't tell the whole truth. But I think that on its face, it seems like a really good quote. But when you dig deep into it, it's not saying as much about him as a quarterback as you would like it to as a Nebraska fan. However, a player that Ohio State wasn't big on, wasn't chasing. I believe they did have an offer on him, but it might not have been a committable offer. Wan'Dale Robinson. Ryan Day also went on to say that Wan'Dale reminds him of Rondale Moore at Purdue.
Which, I mean, totally agree.
I mean, I think that Nebraska fans have been saying that since he committed to Nebraska. It's like, this is going to be our Rondale Moore. This kid could win get all conference honors. Exceptional athlete. We saw that multiple times last year. He showed his flashes. Wan'Dale, great player. The real question, talking about all these comments, is what's Ryan Day's game? What's he playing? They came in to Memorial Stadium last year and mud stomped Nebraska on game day, prime time. It wasn't a contest. Adrian did not look good. Wan'Dale, he didn't look exceptional, but his play mostly plays off of Adrian. Adrian did not have a good game, so Wan'Dale did not have an exceptional game.
The offensive line kind of didn't help Adrian.
Offensive line looking rough, but what do you guys see as the motivation for Ryan Day to make such glowing comments about two of Nebraska's better players? This is kind of a Bill Belichick anti-bulletin board material. He's trying to lull us a little bit.
I think as Nebraska fans, we're looking way too much into what he's saying here. I mean, if you go look at all coaches no matter what level of football, when you go play a team, you're gonna mention when you're getting interviewed, you're gonna mention their two best players, because usually they ask, like, okay, you're playing Adrian, you're playing Wan'Dale. How are you going to stop them? And naturally, Ryan Day's going to go, well, they're good athletes. They're good football players. We're gonna prepare for them how blah, 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 whatever their plan is. So I think that's just a coach's response. I think as Husker fans, we're thinking it's some big deal. Like, oh, Ryan Day is going to try to steal them in the transfer portal next year. I don't think that's the case.
I definitely didn't. That thought didn't cross my mind.
I think a lot of I didn't know if you were implying that, if you were worried about that. But
no.
I think he's just complimenting our two best players, just because, and also because, I mean, we were 4-8 last year, so he needs to give his own players motivation to actually try this first week, and because maybe show his team that maybe they have some good athletes that could beat us if we play bad. And so I think we're looking way too much into it. It's just a coach response, typical response. So
Rye Bentz, what do you think as the complete unbiased third party?
Right. Yeah, you got that right. Well, maybe through those comments by Ryan Day, maybe he's trying to apply some pressure.
To the Huskers or to Ohio State?
To the Huskers, to Martinez. And
put the spotlight back on
right,
him.
yeah. Kind of applying.
That's a good point.
Adrian did not play well under the spotlight last year.
When Adrian has the spotlight on him, he has proven to not play up to his freshman year hype. So I get behind you there. Yeah.
Well, we only have 30 days left to wait until we see, what is in store for the Huskers against Ohio State in the shoe, prime time. I like that game. We'll see what happens.
It'll be fun.
I think Nebraska's going to surprise some people. we're very biased, but I
Nothing like surprising people with a loss. I love surprising people with a loss.
I think it's gonna. I don't think we'll win, but I think it's gonna be a closer loss than what everyone else in the country is thinking. It's gonna be closer than last year. I would hope so, but I think
Like, it won't be by 40, but it could be by 20.
yeah. I mean, if we lose by 15 points, I'd be happy with it.
They might not drop 63. They might not drop 63 on us this time.
We would consider that a win.
I would, yeah, for sure. All right, moving on. NFL predictions, and then we'll get to Bentz's bets of the week. Best part of the show, the last part of the show.
You got that right.
All right, starting off tonight, Thursday night. We are recording this before the game starts. We're gonna make the prediction. I got the Jags. Bentz?
Oh, Jags all the way.
Will?
I mean, I always like to take a contesting opinion to you, Ethan. But I mean, the Dolphins 0-2, up and coming. They just haven't looked great this year. Minshew mania. You gotta love Minshew. I just can't bet against him. I just gotta go Jags.
I like how I put no debate in parentheses on this segment, and he still starts trying to debate me right there.
I didn't debate you. I was explaining
Packers,
my pick.
Saints. You already know I got the Packers. Bentz.
Packers.
Packers, yeah.
All right. Bears, Falcons. Falcons.
Falcons. Oh, where's the game at?
It looks like Atlanta's favored by 3, so I'm gonna say it's in Atlanta. But that doesn't really matter this year. It's in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say yeah, Atlanta.
Bentz.
Atlanta.
All right. Pretty much going lockstep this right now. This is gonna be a tough one. I think we might have a little divide here. Bills, Rams. I got the Bills.
That's gonna be a great game.
Yeah.
Very interesting game. I'm gonna take the Rams. I mean, the Bills looked great last week, but gosh, the Rams.
Are you willing
also
to
looked
put? Are you
amazing.
willing to put a bob on that? I'll go one bob on that
I'll
game.
go one bob on that. I'll take the Rams.
Do you want anything on that?
I'll put something on this. I got the Rams.
You got the Rams. Okay, I'll put a bob on that as well with you. So
Wow, you sound pretty confident.
I like the Bills. I have them winning that division. I like
I can
them.
see why you. I mean, the Bills look great. I just don't think Josh Allen can do it again against the Rams, but we'll see.
All right,
It's gonna be a great game.
next up we got Washington, Cleveland. I'm gonna take the Washington football team.
I will as well.
I like the Browns.
Really? You saw that running game. I mean, yeah.
I mean, I got Nick Chubb on one of my fantasy teams. I would like it if the Browns looked good because that probably means Nick Chubb looks good. Titans, Vikings, definitely going Titans.
I'm going to go Vikings with this pick because I think the Vikings are a much better team than what they've shown the first 2 weeks. I think Kirk Cousins is going to have a bounce back week, and they're going to prove that they're a playoff team like they have been. And, you know, the Titans just, they're not great. So I think they're going to have a bad game. They're going to maybe overlook them a little bit. So I'm going to take the Vikings.
I really like your reasonings there, but I'm gonna have to stick with the Titans.
All right, next up we got the Raiders and the Patriots. I'm gonna go with the Patriots. I think the Bill Belichick's gonna be able to scheme a win against the Raiders.
It's in New England. I know there's no fans, but I mean, still going to New England it's a big deal. So yeah, I'm gonna go Patriots.
I'll go with the Raiders here. I like John Gruden.
Next up we got the 49ers and the Giants. Talk about a horrible matchup. I'm gonna go with the Niners just because I feel like their coach is better.
I'm gonna go with the Giants because I am really buying into what Joe Judge is doing over there. And without Saquon, I still think
All right. He's got the Giants. He's got the Giants.
I think what I was gonna say. I think Daniel Jones is much better quarterback than what he played so far. So.
Okay.
I agree.
I'm going with the Giants.
He looked really good in that first
and that
game.
defense is slim pickings right now, and so I don't think he's gonna have as much pressure applied to him as he would if the 49ers were healthy. So if they're gonna win, this is the time to do it. So I'm gonna take Giants.
I wouldn't bet that game. I hate both teams. Those are stay away bets.
Yeah, that's right. I gotta say Giants too.
All right. I mean, I guess I'll just stick on my island with the Niners. Bengals, Eagles, both 0-2.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Another game I don't like. I'm just gonna say I have more confidence in Joe Burrow right now, and I have him on my fantasy team this week as a spot start for Drew Lock. So I'm gonna take the Bengals.
Okay.
Joe Burrow's looked pretty good, and I would put him as my offensive rookie of the year as of right now. But I'm gonna go Eagles just because Carson Wentz is the most experienced quarterback. It's in Philadelphia. They've looked really bad through 2 games. Kind of the same reasoning as I had for the Vikings. At some point, they're going to pick it up. I don't think they're just going to be a terrible football team because they're not. So I'm going to go Eagles.
I gotta go Eagles too.
Texans, Steelers. I'm gonna go with the Steelers. I'm not confident in that pick, but I'm going Steelers.
In Pittsburgh, yeah, same as New England. You gotta go Pittsburgh. They've looked hot.
All right, you're gonna watch Houston get their first win of the season.
Well, I mean, he had Houston earlier making the playoffs.
I mean,
so
I would
not surprised.
If I was more confident in my Steelers pick, I would put a bob on that with you. But I don't like either team again.
Okay.
Jets, Colts, easy pick. Colts.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Colts.
Colts.
It's in Indianapolis as well.
Colts by 17.
Panthers, Chargers. Going Chargers. I love the Chargers. Justin Herbert getting his second start. Gonna look real good.
Going to Chargers.
Chargers.
I'm also starting the Chargers defense, and I don't think Carolina.
Hey, I got the Chargers defense too.
There we go.
I have the 49ers defense in my fantasy league, so you can see where I'm sitting right now.
That's a rip.
Not good.
Buccaneers, Broncos. I'm gonna go Buccaneers.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Bucks too. Got it.
Bucks. Brady's Bucks.
Lions, Cardinals. Definitely going Cardinals.
Yeah, I'll go Cardinals.
Cardinals.
Cowboys, Seahawks. Give me the Seahawks.
Where's the game at?
Seattle.
Seahawks.
No 12th man though.
I will put a Bob Toast on this. I'm gonna take the Cowboys.
I'll take that.
I'll take the
that.
boys. One Bob Toast on the boys.
I'll take that.
I have so much confidence in Dak right now. It's gonna happen.
Got to go Seahawks.
I maybe make a mistake because
the Cowboys fan doesn't even agree with you.
I mean,
know.
I might be making a mistake because Russell has played out of his mind in the first 2 weeks. But
At Seattle too. It's gonna be.
I said the Cowboys would win the Super Bowl early in the year, so I have to bet on
Okay.
them.
I'm gonna go Seattle. Ryan's going Seattle, and easily the best game of the week. Chiefs, Ravens,
Oh, yeah.
probably the best two teams in the NFL right now. It's in Baltimore. I'm gonna take the Ravens.
I'm taking the Ravens. I think they've been dominant. No one can beat them right now.
I like the Chiefs.
There we go.
I knew you were gonna say that. Your reaction to my Ravens pick.
Yep.
All right. All this NFL talk has got me ready for the worst part of the show, but you guys know what time it is.
Boom, boom.
Are you ready? Let's go!
In the 2000 Orange Bowl, Tom Brady won the greatest comebacks in college football history, beating the Crimson Tide, being down 28-14 in the second half, and where he earned his title as the comeback kid. That's all for the TB 12 seconds.
Almost didn't make it this time, but it's TV 12 seconds. I'm not even sure if I understood what he said. Comeback kid, Orange Bowl, Crimson Tide, 28-14. He won the game.
His last game as a Michigan Wolverine. Beat the Crimson Tide in the Orange Bowl.
You know,
considered one of the greatest college football comebacks of all time.
Given that was his last game, I think that might have gotten him drafted, honestly. Probably had a little momentum after that game.
I would totally agree. Yeah.
All right.
He almost didn't get drafted anyway. So.
Transitioning from the worst part of the show to the best part of the show, we got theme music for him now. Bets of the week. Ryan, take us through. All yours.
Yeah, buddy. All right. So what I got here, college football. We got first game. I like Mississippi State.
That's a good pick.
Well, they do play LSU. So the
That's a very
spread.
depleted LSU team.
The spread LSU by 16.5. And yes, let's go Mississippi State.
Out for the win or for the cover?
To cover.
Okay.
Look for LSU to pull out. I mean, it's going to be a struggle for them. They're a young team, but I think they'll carry over that talent that Joe Burrow left them.
Wait, so you were going for LSU? I thought you were saying you were going for Mississippi State to win.
I like Mississippi State for the spread, but LSU should struggle for that win, I think.
Does any of that pick have to do with the fact that LSU is starting a new quarterback in Miles Brennan?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Nope. All right. Second game I got here, West Virginia, Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State Cowboys picked by 6.5. And I like that. I like that bet a lot. That's a confident bet for me there.
You're taking the Cowboys to cover and to win.
That's right. By a touchdown.
I do like those Cowboys.
Yeah.
Those Cowboys, the college football Cowboys, love them. NFL Cowboys suck.
I think I disagree with that pick there. I'd take West Virginia to win that game, personally. But I'd put a Bob Toast on it if anyone wants to take it.
I mean, Ryan hasn't been too interested in the Bob Toast, but I think that he might have to take that one. He was pretty confident in that.
Yeah, I think so too. I'll do
West
that.
Virginia and Oklahoma State? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. I'm down.
You love a Bentz's Bob bet.
Love it.
Love to see it.
Love to see it.
All right. Next game. Tennessee, South Carolina. And Tennessee picked by 3.5. I like Tennessee a lot in this game too.
I agree with you. I like Tennessee as well. I'm surprised to hear that they're favored actually, because they were kind of a dumpster fire at the beginning of last year.
Right. Yeah.
Beginning of every year since Peyton Manning left.
You're not wrong. All right. That's college football for you. Let's go to NFL. All right. So, one game I thought would be really interesting with the spread, and we've talked about this already. Rams and Bills. Bills picked by 2. I'm going to have to say Rams. Rams to win. Next game.
We're just gonna let the dead
We'll let
air.
that-
We're
we'll
gonna
let
let the
that
dead air show how I feel about that.
I agree with you there. I'm totally with the Rams.
Yeah.
We already shared our opinions on that game.
Yeah, right.
Bills all the way. Bills Mafia. Let's go.
Well, another game, I guess, with an interesting spread is Washington and Cleveland Browns. Browns picked by 7.
Really?
Yeah,
Browns not looked good. Washington has been surprisingly good
surprisingly good. So in this case, pick Washington.
to cover,
Right,
but not to win,
right,
because you like the Browns,
right.
which is wrong. Washington cover and win. I'll put a Bob Toast on it.
All right, next. Oh boy, here we go. Colts and Jets. Colts by 12.
That's an easy cover for the Colts.
You think so?
That's an easy cover. Jonathan Taylor will do it by himself.
150 yards.
Easy. Over. I'm taking the over on 150 yards. I'll put a Bob on
You want to put
that.
a bomb on that?
I will put a Bob on
150
that.
yards.
Okay, I'll give you a bob there.
My fantasy team needs the over.
I will give you the bob there.
All right. We're going pretty light on our Bob bets. So it's a bunch of ones. We're nickel and diming it
because
this
the
week.
last time we made a 10 bob bet and it was almost too much to eat.
Are we writing these Bob bets down?
We have never
they're
done that.
they're recorded.
That's a great idea because I don't remember half the bets we make. So
I know I'm definitely winning the majority of them.
All right, I'll give you 2 more games here.
I want to hear about Bristol, so you better be ready
yeah.
to tell me about Bristol.
Oh, I got a lot to say about Bristol. All right. So 7:20 night game, Sunday night. Packers Saints. Saints by 3. Yep. You heard that right.
No way. No way.
go. You
No
love
way.
to see it. I love it.
I've lost all faith in Vegas.
Let's go.
So yeah, obviously I got the Packers on that game. Aaron Rodgers is gonna have another magnificent game.
Easy. I'm sprinting. I am sprinting to the casino to bet on that game if I could, because I'm an NCAA employee. But I'm sprinting if I can to put my money on the Packers. That's not even Packers bias. That's just like Saints look horrible last week. Packers look dominant.
Yeah.
What is Vegas doing?
Yeah,
Remind me where that game's located. Is it in New Orleans?
it's at Saints. Yeah.
Okay, well maybe that's they haven't adjusted to the fact that there's no fans yet.
That's right.
But
could be.
I am stunned.
Packers with the win on the road.
I just gained so much respect for Vegas.
I mean, I can't say I'm speechless because I'm definitely not speechless. But what the heck?
All right, I'll give you the last NFL game here for the week. Chiefs Ravens. Now the Ravens are picked by 3.5 at Baltimore.
Rightfully so. I think so.
I would take the Chiefs to cover, but not to win.
Right. Yeah. I think Ravens could win by a field goal.
But you did pick the Chiefs.
I did.
But when you're putting your money on the line,
Right.
you're taking the Ravens.
Okay. So let me rephrase. I actually do like the Chiefs to win outright. So I mean, obviously, the Ravens would. Yeah. No. Yes. Sorry, I'm confusing myself. Okay.
You're good. I confused you.
I do like the Chiefs. I do like the Chiefs in this game.
If you guys
on
have
the road.
Go ahead.
No, that was it.
I was gonna say if you guys go and rewind the tape, I like to absolutely hurl Ryan under the bus every episode.
Every time.
Go
It's not
watch
easy.
the first episode because he did not have lines, and I asked him for lines, and absolutely just chucked him under that bus. But
Yeah. All right.
we got great content to end the show today.
Oh,
Because
I'm not done yet.
Oh, you're not done.
No.
You said two more
Well,
games.
for the NFL.
got NASCAR. You said you wanted some.
I
wrestle action.
I was going to ask him about NASCAR just now.
All right. Well, we'll
I'm
get
getting
there.
crucified over here.
You know what?
I want you to tell me about Bristol first,
Yeah,
and then I
yeah.
want you to tell me about this next week.
He
All
just
right,
threw
I
you
like
back under the bus.
I like that. All right.
We're just throwing each other like it's.
Yeah, we're all just under a bus right now.
If we were on a volcano right now, we'd just be taking turns to throw each other into the lava.
All right. Let's talk about Bristol. All right. So I was, fortunate enough to go. I was one of the 60,000 fans, the largest sporting event since COVID. And usually they sit about 120,000. And if you've read my blog, Bristol is the third largest sports venue in America and seventh in the world.
Didn't know that.
Pretty interesting, pretty fascinating. But I mean, when I got front row seat and I was on turn 4, and Bristol is just that track where everybody loves to race there. I mean, it's intense, high intensity the whole race, and there's cars going side by side, 3 wide on steep banking. And then my favorite part of the race is just the noise, the loud engines revving up, and then the tires screeching, and the smell of the burnt rubber on the track. I mean, and the oil and the gas spilling on the. I mean, it's on the pit roads.
He's getting real revved up about this.
Oh
I'd
boy,
say.
it's just.
I mean, I think we need to go inquire about a possible oil or burnt rubber smelling
I think we should start
candle.
that official Safe Saturdays candle.
Yeah,
Oh,
Heavy
yeah.
rubber and
Just
oil and.
keep your guys' eyes on safesaturdays-shop.com for the burnt rubber and oil candle. Sweeping the nation, really sensational.
That's right. Yeah, the best mixed combination of smells you'll ever smell, I guess. But I will have to say Bristol right now was my favorite sporting event to attend.
So going back to the first question of the show, if
Right.
you wouldn't have just gone to that this weekend, would that have been your answer?
Yep.
Nice.
Bristol over, I think, the most notable race, Daytona 500.
Daytona 500.
I
mean, they're right there.
For non-NASCAR people like myself, what is the difference? It's just a different race, like different impact. What's the impact on the two races? Is it a big deal?
Basically a symbol of it. So like Daytona 500 is one of the like crown racing they call it, and it's symbolized. It's Daytona 500 is the first race of the season, so it's a huge deal, and it's a super speedway. And now I mean, Bristol and Daytona have about the same intensity. At Bristol, you're going 120, 140 miles per hour, short track, half mile. And at Daytona, you're going 2.5 miles, 2 miles, 2.5 miles at 190, 200 tops miles per hour.
Would you say Bristol's like you feel more engaged, 'cause
Right,
it's smaller tracks,
right,
so you just
yeah.
feel like it's just a better
You can
fan
see
experience kind of
everything.
thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I could get that.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
Daytona is a speedway or a super speedway?
Super speedway.
And Bristol is a speedway?
A short track.
Short track.
Yep. So you
Okay.
have short tracks, about half mile, and then speedways, mile and a half. Super speedways, 2.5 miles.
Okay.
So I can get that. Sounds like Bristol. You just get up closer to everything.
Right.
Yeah. Smell those smells and see those sights.
Yeah, you couldn't get that at a super speedway.
Yeah. So I could get that. Makes total sense.
Couldn't get that burnt rubber aroma. Just
Don't forget the gas, the Sunoco
love
fuel.
it. Love it. All right. Your boy, Joey Logano, did not win.
No, he didn't. Chase didn't win either. My pick.
It's all right. You were hot on every other pick you made.
Yeah, right. I in my blog I had Kyle Busch and that bright red Skittles paint scheme finishing up there, and he did finish second. He had a very solid race.
Man's a prophet, guys. If you're not on the Bentz bandwagon, get on it right now. You need to buy
right.
your stock right now.
Pack the family up. Load everything you got and get on the Bentz bandwagon.
right.
Hop
So-
on the train.
I'm always
Unload your savings account on this man's Bentz.
please
Screw the stock market. This is how you get big in America right here. You bet on Big Bets Bentz.
invest. All right. So
For safety precautions, this is an opinion and not facts.
this weekend track. All right. So we're starting the round of 12.
Where are we at this weekend?
Las Vegas, and let's see, Las Vegas, mile and a half track, and this time I'm very confident with my guy Joey Logano. Joey Logano average finish at Las Vegas is 8th for his career among, and I mean he ranks first in average finishes with the rest of the playoff drivers, and he won there last in 2019. And he has 9 straight top 10s. So look for that yellow Pennzoil Ford Mustang 22. Joey Logano across that finish line at Las Vegas.
What's usually the average like a racer comes in over all races? Like you said, he averages 8th over what was it, his career or something?
At Las Vegas.
At Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Is that pretty high average?
Yes.
To be getting 8th. Okay.
Right.
And
Yeah, definitely.
so he's coming in pretty hot then.
Yep.
Well,
Joey Logano's obvious favorite for this weekend.
I feel like Joey Logano is a pretty safe bet.
So here, I'll tell you here. So Logano averages 8th position at Las Vegas. And the second best driver in the playoffs is Brad Keselowski at 11.3. So there you have a 3-position difference among the playoff drivers at Las Vegas.
That it's compelling. It's notable. It's got me intrigued.
So
I might turn on the final lap.
no, you're gonna watch that whole race.
I'll watch the highlights the next day.
Yeah, Ryan will be tuned in from start to finish. for sure.
Sunday night race.
It's gonna be skipping the Saints-Packers game
That's right.
for the race.
You got that right. Screw the Packers. What?
What?
All right.
What?
So my favorites for this race, obviously Joey Logano and his teammate Brad Keselowski.
Oh, they're teammates even.
Yep.
Oh, well, yeah. That's gonna be a good bet right there.
Definitely. Also, keep in mind Truex. Martin Truex Jr. in the 19.
Why?
He's been pretty consistent. He's been running. Well, actually, not at Bristol. He had a pretty rough time at Bristol, but he's not good at Bristol. So that was kind of expected.
Well, it looks like a couple of the top guys struggled at Bristol. Joey
Right.
didn't.
Right. I
run
mean, he
super
finished
well.
3 laps down, and Chase finished a few laps down. But so if you look at Truex, he has his best finish. Well, yeah, he's won at Vegas twice, and most recently was fall of last year. So Truex has a couple wins under his belt at Las Vegas, and pretty recent, and he's also very good at mile and a half tracks. So keep an eye on that 19 cart, Truex. And then some sleepers who I'm not expecting to do that well, but they have the potential to do so. Alex Bowman, Austin Dillon. So Alex Bowman, he has his best finish at Vegas was 6th. Doesn't seem that good, but he's still in the playoffs. So he's contending, like he's competitive, and especially at Vegas. And Austin Dillon as well. His best finish was just this spring, 4th. Finished 4th at Vegas. So my 2 sleepers there that you could keep an eye on.
I just got a question. My guy for a long time. I don't watch NASCAR about at all, but Kyle Busch has always been my dude, just because I like the M&M car.
Sure.
How is Kyle? Who are you taking on Kyle Busch? How you like him coming into this race?
You know, Kyle Busch, so he's actually from Las Vegas. So this is his home track.
Home track advantage.
That was a worthless opinion when I said Todd Gurley was going to be good in Atlanta, but now it's notable because this race car driver's from Vegas.
Kyle Busch is a different animal. I don't know.
Well, Kyle Busch, well, his last win at Vegas was 2009.
Oof.
Over 10 years ago.
Yikes. Maybe not betting on him.
And let me just pull up a little let's see where he averages here at Las Vegas. Kyle Busch does not do well.
Last time I checked, it doesn't take an ACL to drive a NASCAR, so
It definitely takes an ACL to drive it now. That's in your leg. You got to press the pedal with something.
That's not much of movement there. I would say Todd Gurley's using his ACL way more.
You got to use both your feet in the NASCAR.
Way more than Kyle Busch is. I would say.
You got a clutch pedal, gas pedal, brake pedal. So there's 3 pedals in there.
I tell you what, if he tears his ACL in this race, I think he needs to retire. 'Cause that's just impressive.
So Kyle Busch has an average finish at Las Vegas of 12.7.
So not far behind Keselowski.
Right. Yeah.
All right, let's go put some money on Kyle Busch.
I would not.
I wouldn't either.
But,
I'm not gonna do that. I'm joking.
You know, keep your eye. We got a lot of good football games this weekend. Got a good race coming up.
We got a good football game tonight.
Yep.
Gonna be good.
Minshew
Kicked
Mania.
off right now. Just kicked off.
Go get yourself some canes and sit back and watch the game.
Relax.
Nothing like a little matchup of the worst teams in Florida. And as always,
Safe Saturdays.